Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new reading vlog. So this I am filming over the Easter weekend. I've got the obviously Saturday and Sunday off from work, but I've also got the Friday and Monday off because they are bank holidays, and thankfully I've got them off so I don't have to go into work. So I thought I could spend the weekend reading, and I thought I'd do a little twist on how I pick my books for this reading vlog. So I'm going to be using Instagram to pick the books, and I'm going to just go onto my Instagram explore page and kind of see what books come up, and my only kind of requirement is it either has to be a book that I already own or a book that is available on Kindle Unlimited that I can obviously download, but I don't plan to buy any new books for this vlog. So I'm going to hop onto Instagram and I will share the kind of screen recording at the side here so we can have a look and see what books come up and what one we're going to read to start with. So I'm just refreshing the page here and we're going to dive in. So the first post that I see here is, are these popular series worth the hype? So let's have a look. So the Twisted series I've already read, King of Wrath I've read, Flawless I've read, Wild Love I've read. Off to the Races, I have this one and I haven't actually read this one yet, so I think I will actually read this one. So 76% people say that this is worth the hype, so I'm going to pick this one up. It's the first book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, I think is what it's called. So I will go and grab that book, and this will be the first one that I read. So I'm really excited to dive into this one. I love Elsie Silver's books and I do need to catch up on her backlist because I'm not up to date. So glad that this one has come up. So I've just gone and pulled my copy of Off to the Races from my shelf. It took me a little while to find this one because I couldn't remember where I'd put it, but I did have it actually on my shelf. So this is the first one I'm going to be reading, and I'm just going to read the blurb so we can get kind of excited to dive into this one. And I did just also want to mention, have you guys seen the new illustrated box set that they're going to be doing for this series? I recently bought these. These are the new kind of traditionally published covers. They've redone this whole series in this kind of design, which I do really love. But the illustrated box set, which I will insert a picture of on screen so you can kind of see what that looks like if you haven't seen it already, looks absolutely amazing, and I am really debating as to whether I will get that or not because I already have these books. So do I really need another set? Probably not, but the illustrated covers look absolutely stunning, so I need to decide whether I'm going to get those or not. So let's have a read of what this one says. So it says here, keeping things professional with my employees has never been an issue until Billy waltzes onto my property. She's talented, feisty, and so damn tempting. We clash from the moment we meet, and I can't stop thinking about all the ways I could take her down a peg. I can't stop thinking about her, period. And in a small town on an even smaller farm, it's hard to keep my distance. Billy is the whole package, whip smart with a body I fantasize about, and quite possibly the only woman who can save this business and me. She drives me crazy, but the more time we spend together, the more I crave her. Her lips, her trust, her heart, I want it all. But at what cost? Because suddenly I don't just want to win races, I want to win the girl. So sounds good, sounds interesting. I love small town romances, and this sounds like it's set on a small farm. In fact, I think it's a ranch, hence the title Gold Rush Ranch. So really looking forward to diving into this one. So I'm going to start reading this one and I will update you once I've read a little bit into this one with my initial thoughts. So I am about 30% into this book, and I have to say that I'm not necessarily loving it. Compared to other Elsie Silver books, I feel like this one's not going to be my favourite. But in this one we follow Vaughn and Billy. So Vaughn has taken charge of his family's ranch following some information that's come out about his grandfather that kind of puts him in a bit of a negative life. So or negative light, sorry. So Vaughn has taken over the running of the ranch, and he hires a new horse trainer called Billy Black, and he is under the assumption that Billy is a male. So when a female arrives at the ranch, he is taken by surprise, and Billy is definitely very feisty. She definitely gives what she gets, sort of thing. She definitely doesn't put up with any of Vaughn's nonsense, and from the moment Vaughn meets her, he is kind of almost immediately thinking about being involved with her, not necessarily in a relationship way, but definitely in a physical way. He is, right from the bat, I think that's one of the first things he thinks about her, is like how attractive she is and how he would like to be with her physically. And I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but when that's the first thing that the guy's thinking, like, it doesn't always bode well. And he is definitely a very grumpy character, I would say, and she's obviously a bit more of a sunshine character, so I assume that hopefully his walls might come down a little bit as time progresses, but so far I'm not necessarily loving this one. I haven't necessarily warmed to these characters. I would say I like Billy a little bit more than Vaughn at the moment. I really like seeing the work that she's doing with the horses. It's definitely reminiscent of the TV show Heartland, if you've ever watched that, when Amy is training the horses and spending time with them, really working on them, especially like the really like skittish ones that other people have struggled to train. We get to see Billy doing some of that in this book so far, and I do really like that element, but I'm not necessarily sure how I feel about the romance. They've had a couple of moments, and there's definitely some tension between the characters, but I'm not necessarily 100% sold on Vaughn as a hero at the moment. We'll see, obviously, if my feelings change over time, but so far I feel like this is probably going to be somewhere between a 3 and a 4 star. I don't see this one being a 5-star read, unfortunately, but I believe that this one was Elsie Silver's first published book. I know this series was definitely her first series, so I believe that this one was her first one. So I can definitely see improvements have been made since this first book. So I'm definitely interested to carry on. It's not a DNF, but it's also not necessarily, I feel, going to be a favourite. I am actually reading this, I don't know if I mentioned, but I am actually reading this on my Kindle because this series is still available on Kindle Unlimited. So I thought I'd read it on my Kindle instead because I can get through it a little bit quicker than reading physically. So that is all I'm going to update for today. I will probably read a little bit more this evening before bed, but I probably won't update you again until tomorrow, which is Saturday, and we'll see how much I get read. I'm hoping I can get this one finished tomorrow so that I can pick another book. But yeah, so far it's just okay. I think this is going to be, as I say, a 3 or 4 star read. I really want to find a book, ideally in this video or in this vlog, that is like a 5-star read, because so far in April I've not really had anything that's really been a solid 5-star read. I've had some like that have been close that I've given 4.5s to, but nothing that has been a solid 5-star read, and I really want to find a good book, and the past few books I've read have all been 3 stars, so I really hope this isn't the sign of you know, a row of 3 stars. So I want something to break that curse. So we'll see what I end up thinking of this one when I hopefully get it finished tomorrow. So I finished Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, and I ended up giving this one 3 stars. This is definitely not my favourite from Elsie Silver, but I do believe this was her first book, so I can definitely see changes in her writing since this first one. This one, I just didn't really like the hero in this one, to be honest. So I think I mentioned in my last clip that this is a workplace romance between Vaughn and Billy. And I did really like how Billy worked with the horses. I did really like seeing that aspect of this book. But I didn't necessarily love the romance between Billy and Vaughn. Their chemistry, I feel... I don't know, it wasn't, I feel like it wasn't 100% there for me. And they definitely had physical chemistry, but emotional chemistry, I'm not sure if we got to really see that, because this romance was very quick. Like, they got together quite quickly, in my opinion. And then when it came to the third act conflict, I was a little bit conflicted about that, because I could understand that Billy had grown attached to the horse that she was working with, but when Vaughn decides that he might sell this horse, the reaction that she has to that is quite, in my opinion, was quite over the top, considering, you know, in that kind of industry, those type of things happen. It wasn't her horse, but she had grown such a strong attachment to it. And when Vaughn decides that he's going to sell it, she does have quite a strong negative reaction to that, which I felt, I don't know, I just didn't love this one. It's really hard to kind of explain, because it just was not my favourite. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was also not the best. Elsie Silvers definitely wrote better heroes, in my opinion. And for that reason, I only gave this one a 3. I will obviously read the rest of the books in this series. It's not put me off the rest of the books in this series, but this one wasn't the best. There is also, at the end of this book, the prequel novella, which is called Out of the Gate. I haven't read the novella yet, because I thought I'd save that to read at another time, because I will obviously, although it's in the end of this book, I will obviously mark it as a separate book, because it is a story in of itself. So yeah, 3 stars for this one, and we're going to now have a look and see what I'm going to be reading next. So I am just going to load up Instagram. I've got it on my computer, and I'm just going to refresh the page so I can have a look at the explore page and see what we're going to read next. We've got screen recording on, so let's have a look at some of these posts. So first post is the Court of Thorns and Roses series, which I have read the first 3 books of, but I don't really feel like I want to read that series. Fourth Wing, I've read first book, but I don't have the other books, so won't be reading that one. Next post is the Deal, the Off-Campus series. And I do have this series, so I have the Score to read. So that is going to be my next read, which I am really excited to carry on with this series. This book was definitely on my TBR, so it's really good that I have got this one come up. So I'm going to go and grab that book, and then this will be the next one that I read. So here we have The Score by Elle Kennedy. This is book 3 in the Off-Campus series, and I'm really looking forward to diving into this one. Elle Kennedy's books I do really enjoy. They're usually really quick reads, so I think I can get through this quite quickly. So I will update you once I've read a little bit of this one and give you my initial thoughts. So I am currently listening to The Score by Elle Kennedy, and I'm a few chapters into that currently, and so far I am really enjoying it. So we are following Ali and Dean, and Ali is Hannah Wells's best friend, so we have seen her in some of the other books, and obviously we've seen Hannah in the previous books. And she has recently broken up with her boyfriend, and she is very worried that she is going to end up going back to him because he keeps calling her and texting her. And so she ends up going over to Hannah's boyfriend Garrett's place to stay for the weekend to try and avoid her ex. And while she's there, she runs into Dean, who is known around campus as being a bit of a player. and they end up having a one-night stand together, and they are now in that stage after the one-night stand where they are both kind of thinking about each other, but obviously don't quite want to admit that they are thinking about each other. So far I am really enjoying this one, and because I am listening to this on audio, I want to find a new another book to read on my Kindle, like in between when I'm listening to the audiobook, because I'm listening to the audiobook whilst I'm getting things done around the house, but when I actually sit down and read, I want something to read on my Kindle. And I could read this on the Kindle because it is available on Kindle Unlimited. And I also do have the physical book, but because I have the audio in my Audible library, I really want to listen to the audiobook. I do really like the audiobooks for this series, so I'm going to have a look on Instagram to see if we can find another post that has a book that is on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm just going to load up the page so we can have a look and see what we can find on there. So let's have a quick look. I'll just refresh the page so we can get some new posts. Let's have a look. 5-star reads. Oh, Litfic, classics. I'm not really interested in any of those genres. Let's see if they've got a romance. Swift and Saddled. Is that book 1 in the series? Let me have a quick look. Is Swift and Saddled the first book? No, Swift and Saddled is book 2. I kind of want to read book 1 first. So I don't think there's going to be anything on this person's post. So let's try the next post. He Falls First, Book Recs. Let's see. Play Along. That one's not in. That one's like not the first book. Mile High. Oh, but I've got the audiobook of that to listen to. Reckless by Elsie Silver. I'm not sure where I'm up to with that series, but I have just read a Elsie Silver book, so I'm not sure if I want to read another one. Let's just have a quick look. But I think there's definitely some options on here. Reckless is book 4, where I'm up to book 3, so that's no good. Let's look at that Penelope Black one, because she's not an author that I've read from before. So let's see. Broken Pact. That is the first book in the series, so I could possibly pick up that one. Or there's the Corinne Michaels one. Let's have a quick look on, I assume both of those are on Kindle Unlimited. Let's have a quick look. I'm just searching on my phone. I know I've got this up on my computer, but I've just got my phone to hand. So Broken Pact is on Kindle Unlimited, so that is a potential option. Or there is Here and Now by Corinne Michaels. I'm not sure what series that is in. Ember Falls, it's book 2 in the Ember Falls series, so I've not read the first book. So I think I'm going to go with the Penelope Black option, just to read on my Kindle in between reading the score. And this will be a new to me author, which I'm really excited. So Broken Pact is the one that I'm going to go for. So I will start that one, download that on my Kindle, and I will update you once I've read more. So I have finished my 2 books, and I'm happy to say that I really enjoyed both of them. So I'm going to talk about both of them because I didn't get a chance to update you yesterday, which was Sunday. I did read most of these books on Sunday, and then I just finished like the last. Well, I think I had like 20 minutes of the ebook, and then about probably about the same sort of time, 20 minutes of the audiobook as well. I finished this morning, so I want to update you on both of those. So let's start with The Score by Elle Kennedy, and I'm not sure if I gave much of a synopsis for this one in my last clip, so I'll just recap it. I apologise if I'm going over things I've already said, but I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 4 stars. I definitely enjoyed this more than The Mistake, which was book 2. So in this one we follow Ali and Dean, and Ali is has gone through a breakup with her ex-boyfriend Sean, and at the beginning of the book she is very concerned that if Sean kind of reaches out to her, she might end up going back to him. So she ends up going to her friend's house while she's away, and she ends up seeing Dean, who is her friend's boyfriend's roommate. So it's Garrett's roommate, who we've seen in one of the previous books. I think he was in The Deal. And we see them, and Dean is a bit of a player around campus. He's known for kind of going with a lot of different girls, and they end up spending the night together, and their romance kind of progresses from there. And I really enjoyed this one. I really like Dean as a character. I think there is, obviously on the surface he appears to be this kind of playboy character, but underneath he's obviously got a lot more going on. He's really good with the kids. He teaches, he's an ice hockey player, he's on the ice hockey team, and he teaches the younger kids how to play ice hockey, which I think is really great. And I really liked seeing his relationship with Ali develop. Now the third act conflict in this one is I feel like one that I've seen before in previous books, not necessarily by Elle Kennedy, but ones in other books where something happens. I don't want to spoil it too much, but basically something happens and it leads Dean to go down this kind of path of kind of spiraling behaviour that's obviously going to negatively affect both his hockey and his relationship with Ali. And it's obviously very difficult to see that happen. And obviously he slowly comes back from it, and he does obviously make up with Ali in the end. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Definitely one of my favourite ones in the series. We see a glimpse of a character who is going to be in the Briar U series. So we get to see Dean's sister called Summer. And I believe her book is the first book of the Briar U series, which I'm really excited for. I really like seeing her character, and I can't wait to see more of her. I think the next book in this series is called The Goal, and I think it's going to be a like surprise baby situation, because at the end of this one we see I think his name is John Tucker, announced that he's going to be a father. So I'm guessing it's going to be a surprise baby situation in the next book, which I'm really interested to see. I don't hate that trope. I know some people don't like that trope, but I quite enjoy that trope. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one. I definitely recommend this series if you are looking for a sports romance series. I know it's kind of an old one that's been around for a while. Let's see, when was this one published? 2016 this originally came out, so it is an older series, but I think it's definitely worth the hype. I also would really recommend the audiobook, which is how I read this one. I listened to the audiobook because I already had it. I'd purchased it in one of the Audible sales at some point, and I did really enjoy listening to the audiobook. I actually have all of these books on audio, and I think that they are really great, fantastic audiobooks. So definitely recommend this series if you are, as I say, looking for a sports romance series. Elle Kennedy has a really fun writing style, so it's not, I find some of her books to be, there has moments of humour in them, which I do really enjoy. And so yeah, enjoyed that one. And then I finished my ebook reading of A Broken Pact by Penelope Black, and I enjoyed this one too. I also gave this one 4 stars. I'd seen some mixed reviews of this one online, so I was a little bit hesitant going into it. But I'm surprised to say that I did enjoy it. So this one is a motorcycle club romance, which I haven't read a motorcycle club romance for a while. I have read some in the past, but it's been quite a while since I've picked up any, and I enjoyed this one. So this one is a romance between oh god, I've forgotten her name. No, Coraline and Jasper, or aka Jagger is his like motorcycle club name. And when I was reading it, at the beginning of the book she's calling him Jagger, but his chapter headings are Jasper, and I was getting a bit confused as to whether they were the same person or what was going on there. But we do find out that Jagger is his like motorcycle club name and Jasper's obviously his real name. And they previously dated like many years ago, and she is opening up runs a bakery, so there's a lot of mention of cake and desserts in here, which I really liked. Definitely made me hungry reading some of those descriptions of the cakes that she was making. And they dated years ago, and it didn't end very well. We don't kind of find out until later on why they ended things, but they enter into this kind of fake dating arrangement, which is I would say very quickly forgotten, the fact that they are fake dating, because they have so much chemistry, and Jasper especially, he definitely falls first for Coraline. He is obsessed with her, and he very much from the beginning, he doesn't view this as a fake dating situation. Like, he's agreed to it, but he doesn't view it as fake. He is 100% in this relationship, and we get to see them progress. And I really liked the kind of progression of their romance. As I say, it very much became clear that they were not, like, they were fake dating, but like you could tell that it was like a real thing for them. One of my complaints though was Jasper calls Coraline baby like so much throughout this book, and it got to the point where it's like, I don't like this, because it was literally like every other sentence when he was speaking to it, he had baby at the end of it, and I was like, I don't like that. And it felt too repetitive as well. Like, I don't mind necessarily them having like a pet name for them. Baby is fine, but when it was used like so much, it got too much for me. So I didn't like that. And then the last portion of the book is where the kind of motorcycle club kind of suspense kicks in. So throughout the book, we're kind of going along quite nicely, seeing the romance develop. We get kind of like, we're aware that he's in the motorcycle club, and we get like little glimpses of that, but not very much. And then out of almost nowhere, there's this kind of serial killer in town. There's dead bodies turning up. Coraline gets kidnapped, and there's like a big shootout scene at the end. And that kind of tone of the ending was very different to the first like 70-80% of the book, so it kind of came a bit out of left field for me, which again I think did detract from my enjoyment of the book, but overall I thought that this was a good start to a series. I do definitely plan to pick up more from her in the future. She has another series, so this is the first book in the, I think it's Avalon Falls series, which is connected to the Rosewood series that she's written previously. So I might go back and read the Rosewood series, or I might continue on and read the Avalon Falls series. I'm not sure what the next book is. I think it might follow one of her brothers. Oh no, maybe not, because that was her brother's friend. I don't know, but there was in this one there might also be another like surprise baby one, because she's at dinner with her family, and her brother's friend, who her mum wants to kind of set Coraline up with, announces in the middle of dinner that he has to go because someone's dropped off a baby at his doorstep. I'm guessing he's going to have a book at some point, which I'm interested to see. I know that there is a marriage of convenience, I think, in this series. I think I saw when I was looking on Amazon, one of them had like the tagline marriage of convenience. So definitely interested to check out more from this series. I think the covers for this series are really pretty as well. So definitely drawn in by those. So next I'm going to pick my last book. I think I'm going to be able to get one more read hopefully today, or at least started. So I'm going to hop on to Instagram and we'll just see what we're going to get for our next or last read. So let's just refresh the page and we'll have a look, see what comes up. So I see the first one says upcoming releases. Now I don't know if this is like April books, so we'll have a quick look, see if there's anything on here that I do have or have access to. Oh no, it's for this, oh, it's for later in the year, so no, I don't actually have any of those. I do want to read quite a few of these, but obviously they've not been released yet, so we'll skip over that one. Microtropes, so we've got Stay. Let's see. So I think some of these are on Kindle Unlimited, if not all of them. I'm definitely drawn to Lights Out by Nevessa Adams because I've heard Nevessa Allen, because I've heard a lot of good things about that one. So I might pick up that one. Shattered Dreams by Natasha Madison. I do really like the cover for. I'm not sure if that is book one though. And the Catherine Cowles one, I'm not sure if that is book one, but I definitely have Catherine Cowles on my TBR to check out. The other three I'm not necessarily as interested in. I think the City of Gods and Monsters is a fantasy, which I've heard things about, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily one that I definitely want to pick up. So I think I'm going to go for Lights Out by Nevessa Allen because, as I say, I've heard really good things and I know that there is going to be a second book coming out relatively soon. So I think that's what I'm going to dive into because I know it is available on Kindle Unlimited. So I am now 30% into Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, and I thought I would share a little update on my initial thoughts on this one. So this one is very different in tone to the other books that I have read in this video. This one is definitely a dark romance, which I knew going into it. I knew the basic premise of this one, and so far I am really enjoying it. But I thought I would just share my thoughts, initial thoughts, and let you know kind of a brief synopsis for this book if you aren't aware of it. So in this one we are following Alyssa, and Alyssa is a doctor. She works long hours in the hospital, and one of her kind of guilty pleasures in life when she gets the spare time is watching these masked men thirst traps on Instagram. And there is one particular guy that she follows who posts quite a lot, and she is very much a fan of his videos, and he is a masked man, as I say, posting thirst traps, and she very much enjoys watching them. And we find out that this guy is actually Josh, who is the roommate of Alyssa's ex, Tyler. And at the beginning of the book, Alyssa kind of messages Tyler. They haven't seen each other for a couple of months, but she messages him a video of, sent him a video of one of Josh's videos saying, is this something that you would be interested in, sort of thing, like putting on a mask. And he replies back saying, like, no, I'm not interested in that. I've already moved on. We've not seen each other in 2 months. I'm with someone else now. Sort of like, please don't message me again. And he's telling his friend Josh about this message that he received, and he shows Josh a picture, and Josh realizes that it's his video that Alyssa has sent to his friend, and he quickly becomes kind of obsessed with Alyssa. He goes to her house, he breaks into her house and films one of his videos in her house. He finds that she has commented on a lot of his videos and she seems very into them, so he thinks that she's going to be okay with the fact that he's broken into her house, and he sets up kind of cameras in her house so he can kind of spy on her, and that is kind of where we're at the moment. She has discovered that he's been in her house, and that he's set up cameras and is watching her, and she has conflicting feelings about this. Part of her thinks, you know, this is creepy, why is this guy watching me? But another part of her is kind of intrigued by him. And yeah, as I say, I'm only 30% of the way in, but so far I'm really enjoying this. The writing style is very fast paced. It doesn't, like, I feel like I've not been reading it for very long and I've already got quite far into it. So I am really enjoying this. I'm not sure if I am going to get this all finished today. I would really like to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to. But we will see. I will update you probably when I've read a little bit more, or maybe when I finish this. But I am really enjoying it so far. So I have just realised that I did not finish this vlog, so I planned to finish it on Monday and it is now Wednesday and I just wanted to hop on and finish this vlog. So this evening, which is Wednesday, I did actually attend another online book event. This one was with Kaylee Smith, who is the author of Phantasma and Enchantra. I haven't actually read these books yet, but I do have them on my TBR, and after attending this event I very much want to dive into them sooner rather than later. I'm having so much fun attending all of these different Waterstones online events that they're doing. I'm really glad that they are putting on a lot of events, because it's a really great way to kind of interact with other bookish people, and also just hear authors talking about their books. I really love doing that, and I don't get the opportunity to do many in-person events just because of where I live, so it's really great that they are doing some online ones. They have quite a few coming up and that I'm attending. So there is one with Emily Henry coming up, which I am really looking forward to, and then there's one with Rachel Gillig's doing one, and there's one with Ava Reid, which I haven't quite decided if I'm going to attend that one or not. And then Carly Fortune is doing one as well with Beth O'Leary, which I'm looking forward to as well. So I really recommend checking out the Waterstones website, because they post all of their online events on there. And tickets are quite affordable. They're £5, which I think is fairly affordable. And as I say, it's a great way to hear authors talking about their books. They often do like other offers, like you can pay a bit more to get like a signed book, and maybe like a sometimes they'll include like extra bookish goodies, but I don't always necessarily do that. Sometimes I just pay for the ticket for the online event. But yeah, that's just a little side note there. And I did finish Lights Out by Navessa Allen, and I did enjoy this one. I gave this one 4 stars, and I think I did give a brief synopsis in the previous clip, and this one follows what were their names? I've completely forgotten their names actually. Josh and Ali, is it? I want to say, or Alyssa, something like that. I'll put it on screen what their names are, because I cannot remember. Let's actually have a look. Maybe I can look it up. Just try to load up Goodreads to check, but it's being very slow. Oh, here we go. I'm pretty sure Josh is his name. Oh yes, Alyssa and Josh. Okay, so I was right. These two characters obviously meet after Josh enters Alyssa's home and films one of his thirst trap videos there, and their relationship kind of goes from there. They do kind of hit a stumbling point when this guy is at the hospital where Alyssa works, and he is suspected of harming women, and he is treated by Alyssa, and he is kind of very creepy with her in the hospital, and afterwards kind of seeks her out at her home, and he actually ends up dead. And so we then go into seeing Alyssa and Josh kind of dealing with that, and she involves some of her family members who are a little bit on the bad side of town, in terms of I don't think it's ever explicitly said that they're part of the mafia, but I get kind of mafia vibes from them. And I think her, either her uncle, no, not her uncle, her cousin, who is introduced in this book, is going to be the hero of the next book, I think. And as I say, we get to see them kind of dealing with kind of trying to cover up this crime, and that was quite interesting as well. I will say I found the second half to be a little bit, in terms of pacing, it was still fast paced, but it felt like it dragged out a bit, the kind of hiding up the crime, and I wasn't necessarily as interested in that bit as I was in their relationship developing. So that's why overall I gave this one a 4-star. I will say, if you are looking for a fun read, this one was a fun read. So this, although it is a dark romance in terms of he is a stalker, there is obviously death mentioned in here, there is murder that happened. Josh's father is actually a serial killer, so there is like dark elements to this, but I would almost say it's kind of, I feel like it's a bit like Butcher and Blackbird, which I didn't necessarily like that book, but it's similar in terms of tone, in terms of that it is dark, but then it is also not light, but like humorous in some ways, and it's got like a fun element to it, which I know doesn't kind of go with dark romance, but trust me, there is kind of like this humorous side to it as well. Josh is obviously, you expect him to be quite a dark, broody, mysterious hero because of his kind of masked man videos that he makes, but he's actually like a really golden retriever character. Alyssa has a cat, and from kind of him first breaking into the house, he's like obsessed with this cat. He refers to the cat as being like there and there, his and Alyssa's like child, and he's very much like wants to be in a relationship, have a family. He's very much all up for that, which kind of doesn't necessarily go with what the image that you have in your mind of him, but I did really like that. So yeah, I did really enjoy this one. It's definitely, I would say, if you are, there probably are triggers for this book, so because it is a dark romance, so if you are triggered by anything, I would probably recommend looking those up. But overall, a really good solid read. I'm definitely intrigued to check out book 2. I can see why this one is hyped, although it didn't quite hit a 5-star read for me. I did really enjoy it, and yeah, definitely worth a read, and I'm glad that I did pick this one up. So overall, I've had a really good reading weekend / extended weekend, because it's obviously a few days later that I'm updating this vlog than I anticipated, but overall I read 4 books. Off to the Races, which was 3 stars, so that was like my least favourite from the video. The Score by Elle Kennedy, which I gave 4 stars to. Broken Pact by Penelope Black, which was another 4-star, and Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, which was 4 stars. So I had some really good reads, and I cleared a few off of my TBR. Lights Out and The Score and Off to the Races were ones that I definitely wanted to read. Obviously Lights Out and Broken Pact were by new authors, so I'm really excited to have some new authors to check out more of their books of. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any recommendations for me based on some of the books that I've read in this video, then please do let me know. I think I might do this again because it was a lot of fun using Instagram to pick the books that I was going to read. I might do it again with TikTok maybe, but let me know what you'd like to see, and I will see you guys in my next video.